The unseen seamstress, the needle glided through the midnight blue silk with practiced ease, each stitch a silent rebellion. Lena Hartwell sat cross-legged on her sewing room floor, the only space in their San Francisco penthouse that still felt like hers. Outside, the bay glittered under a setting sun, but Lena's focus never wavered from the gown taking shape in her hands. "You're seriously wearing that tonight?" Daniel's voice cut through her concentration. He leaned against the doorway, his tailored suit and polished shoes a stark contrast to her threadbare sweater. "The gala starts in 2 hours. Claire booked you an appointment at Valentino." Lena didn't look up. "I'm almost done." Daniel sighed, the way he did when explaining basic math to interns. "Lena, this isn't some backyard barbecue. The CEO of Astra Ventures will be there. Do you know what writing on this?" "I do." She held up the dress, the silk cascading like water. "This fabric cost more than our first month's rent. You promised I'd wear it when we made it, remember?" A flicker of guilt crossed his face brief. But there. Then he straightened his cufflinks. "Sentiment doesn't impress VCS. Look, I'll have Claire send a car at 7. When he left, Lena pressed a hand to her chest, as if she could steady the ache beneath her ribs. The memory surfaced anyway. Daniel 23 and broke, tracing the silk in the shop window. "One day, I'll buy you 10 yards of this. We'll make something gorgeous, and we'll celebrate like kings." Oh, kings they were. But the man who'd whispered that promise was gone. Her phone buzzed. "Sophie, her sister, Daniel's assistant, just called me, checking if you're stable enough for tonight." "Asshole." Lena smiled grimly. She slipped the finished dress on, the silk cool against her skin. The mirror reflected a woman she barely recognized, not because of the gown, but the resolve in her eyes. Daniel wanted a trophy wife. Tonight, he'd get a reckoning instead. The Ritz-Carlton ballroom shimmered under crystal chandeliers, a sea of designer gowns and champagne flutes clinking with hollow cheer. Lena adjusted the strap of her midnight blue dress, the only handmade garment in a room dripping with couture. Labels. Daniel had barely spoken to her since they arrived, his hand on her lower back only to steer her toward investors. Ah, the infamous Daniel Hartwell. A silver-haired man clapped Daniel's shoulder. "And this must be the wife, Lena," she said, extending her hand. Miles Carrington. His gaze flicked to her dress. "Unusual choice for tonight. Who's the designer?" "Me." Miles blinked. Daniel's grip tightened on her waist, a silent warning. "I used to be a seamstress," Lena continued, ignoring Daniel's nails digging into her hip. "Back when we were eating ramen for dinner." Miles laughed, refreshing. "Everyone here just throws money at problems. You actually make things." Daniel's smile was brittle. Lena's modest. "She hasn't sewn in years." "Shame." Miles winked at her. "Talent like that shouldn't be wasted." As Daniel dragged her away, he hissed, "Could you not embarrass me? These people fund my company." "You mean our company?" Lena said softly. "The one I kept afloat doing your books at 2 a.m.? Before he could retort, a woman in a sleek emerald pantsuit intercepted them. "That neckline is exquisite," she said, studying Lena's dress. "The drape is perfect for your frame." "Thank you." Lena recognized her instantly. "Mira Patel, CEO of a rival tech giant." "Mira." Daniel forced a smile. "Didn't know you were a fashion critic." "I know craftsmanship when I see it." Mira's eyes never left Lena's. "Most of these women buy their confidence. You stitched yours? I respect that." Daniel's jaw twitched across the room. A man with a press badge watched them. Javier Rivera, a journalist known for his exposes on corporate culture. His gaze lingered on Lena, intrigued by the tension radiating off her later. During the keynote speech, and of course, Daniel said from the podium, flashing his trademark charm, "None of this would be possible without my wife's support." The spotlight found Lena, the crowd clapping politely. The host gestured to her. "Ms. Hartwell, would you share a few words about your journey with Daniel?" Dead silence. Daniel sinked, "Don't you dare." Lena stood. 15 years ago. She began, her voice steady. "Daniel sold his car to pay our rent. I sewed his interview suit because we couldn't afford one." The crowd chuckled. Back then, success meant eating something besides instant noodles. Daniel relaxed slightly good. She was playing the humble wife. Then Lena met his eyes. But somewhere along the way, we confused shared sacrifice with invisible labor, you see. Daniel's the one who gives speeches. I'm the one who edited every one of them. The room froze. Myra Patel smirked into her wine. Javier started recording. So tonight, Lena continued, smoothing her handmade dress. I'm wearing this not for nostalgia, but as a reminder to myself and to every partner told to shrink, so someone else can shine, that our worth isn't determined by their applause. She stepped away from the mic. Not a single clap. Daniel's face was purple with rage. Aftermath, you humiliated me. Daniel snarled in the lobby, gripping her arm. Lena wrenched free. No, you humiliated yourself by pretending you got here alone. Get in the car. We'll talk at home. I'm not going home. She hailed a cab, her pulse roaring in her ears. Javier materialized beside her. Ms. Hartwell. Javier Rivera, with the chronicle, that was. Credible. The cab pulled up. Lena hesitated. Let me buy you coffee, he said quickly. Off the record. I think your story could help a lot of people. In the back seat, Lena finally exhaled. One condition. Name it. No sugar. I'm bitter enough already, Javier laughed. And for the first time in years, Lena did too. Cliffhanger. As Lena's cab disappears into the night, Daniel pulls out his phone, not to call her, but his PR team. I need you to spin this now. The morning light spilled into Sophie's tiny apartment, painting the walls gold. Lena scrolled through her phone, her stomach twisting as she read the headlines. Tech wife's Gala speech exposes industry's invisible labor problem, Daniel. Hartwell's empire built on unpaid spousal work. Hashtag seamstress stan trends as women share stories of erased contributions. Sophie dropped a coffee in front of her. You're famous, Lena groaned. I didn't mean for this to blow up. I just snapped. About damn time, Sophie smirked. Javier Rivera's article already has 50,000 shares. And look. She turned her laptop screen, comments flooded in from women worldwide. I coded my husband's app. He sold it for millions. My name wasn't even in the press release. I managed his restaurant for free, while he took credit as the visionary. Lena's throat tightened. She wasn't alone. Daniel's damage control across town? Daniel paced his office, phone pressed to his ear. I don't care how you spin it, make her look emotional, overworked, anything but righteous. He hung up and glared at his PR team. How did we not see this coming? His assistant Claire hesitated. Sir, Astra Ventures just called. They're reevaluating their investment. Daniel's stomach dropped. Get me Lena on the phone. Not answering? Then track her location. Send flowers. Something. Claire cleared her throat. There's another issue. Javier Rivera's working on a follow-up. He's interviewing ex-employees about how much Lena actually did for Hartwell Tech. Daniel's blood ran cold. Coffee with consequences. Lena stirred. Her black coffee, watching Javier scribble notes across from her. His dark eyes flicked up, warm and intent. You've started a movement, you know? I didn't start anything. Just stopped lying. He leaned forward. That's what makes it powerful. His knee brushed hers under the table, sending a jolt through her. She forced herself to focus. What's the follow-up about? Digging into Hartwell Tech's early days? Rumor is you designed their first UI, Lena stiffened. Daniel called it helping out. Never credited me. Javier's pen hovered. Would you go on record? Before she could answer, her phone buzzed. Unknown number. You'll regret this. DH Javier's. Jaw tightened. He's threatening you? Lena exhaled. He's scared. Good. Javier covered her hand with his. Let him be. The contact lingered just a second too long. Myra Patel's offer that evening. Lena's phone rang. Myra Patel here. You've caused quite the stir. Lena braced for criticism. Instead, Myra said, I'm launching a fund for women rebuilding careers after partner setbacks. I want you to design the branding and a capsule collection for the campaign. Lena's breath caught. Why me? Because you get it. And frankly, watching Daniel squirm is a bonus. Lena laughed, then paused. I'd need supplies. A workspace. Done. My team will send contracts tomorrow. Mira hung up. Sophie whooped. You're in, sis. Lena stared at her hands, still rough from years of stitching in silence. For the first time, they'd hold more than needles. They'd hold power. Cliffhanger: Daniel's PR team leaks fake texts to the press, painting Lena as unstable. But Javier has evidence, therefore stand a choice: publish the truth or protect Lena by keeping it quiet. Lena's new studio smelled of fresh paint and possibility. Bolts of fabric lined the shelves, and sunlight streamed through the industrial windows. She ran her fingers over the vintage sewing machine Sophie had gifted her, a symbol of starting over. Then her phone buzzed. Supplier notification, order number 2039 canceled. Her stomach dropped. She dialed the number. What do you mean canceled? I paid up front. The supplier hesitated. Ms. Hartwell, we received pressure to prioritize other clients. I'm sorry. Lena didn't need to ask who. Daniel. Javier's investigation heats up. Javier scrolled through the leaked documents on his laptop. Internal Hartwell tech emails proving Lena had designed their early prototypes. Daniel had erased her contributions, just like she'd said. His editor tapped the desk. Run the story. It's solid. Javier hesitated. It'll paint a target on Lena's back. And if you don't, Daniel wins. Javier's phone lit up with a text from Lena. Can we talk? The confrontation. Daniel showed up unannounced at the studio, his tailored suit at odds with the raw space. You're really doing this? Starting some hobby to spite me? Lena gripped her shears. It's not a hobby. It's my life. You'll fail. His voice softened, almost pleading. Come home. We'll fix this. She laughed bitterly. You mean you'll fix me? Daniel's mask slipped. You think some journalist actually cares about you? He's using you for a story? The door swung open. Javier stood there, holding a box of rare silk, the same one her supplier canceled. I'd say she's doing just fine without you, Javier said. Daniel's glare could have melted steel. This isn't over. Midnight truce later. Under the studio's twinkled lights, Lena traced the silk Javier had tracked down. You didn't have to do this. I wanted to. His fingers brushed hers. The article's ready. But I won't publish it if you're not ready for the fallout. Lena studied him. The way his stubble caught the light, the ink smudged on his wrist from furious note-taking. You'd really kill your biggest scoop. For me, Javier stepped closer. I'd do a lot more than that. The air between them crackled. Lena's breath hitched as his thumb grazed her jawbone. The studio's front window shattered. A rock skidded across the floor, wrapped in a note. Stop while you can. D.H. Javier shielded her instantly. We're calling the police. Lena's hand shook, but her voice didn't. We're calling Mira Patel. The backstage chaos of Mira Patel's fashion showcase smelled like hairspray and adrenaline. Models darted between racks, stylists barked orders, and Lena stood at the center of it, all pinning a last-minute hem on her signature piece, a tailored blazer with hidden pockets designed for women who carried the world without recognition. Sophie burst through the curtain, phone in hand. Javier's article just dropped. It's everywhere. Lena scanned the headline. Hartwell Tech's founding fraud. How one woman built an empire and was erased. Screenshots of emails, design files with Lena's initials, even Daniel's threats all laid bare. Mira appeared, her emerald pantsuit cutting through the frenzy. We have a problem. Daniel just arrived. Lena's needle stilled. You wouldn't dare. Oh, he dared, Mira said. And he brought reporters. A showdown. The runway lights blazed as Lena's collection debuted. Models strode past industry elites, each garment bolder than the last, structured silhouettes with delicate seams. Literal armor for invisible warriors. Then the crowd gasped. Daniel stood in the aisle, his presence a grenade in the room. This is a fraud, he shouted. She's using my name for clout. The music cut. All eyes swung to Lena. She stepped onto the runway, microphone in hand. Funny, that's what you did with my work for 15 years. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Daniel's face darkened. You're destroying everything we built. No, Lena's voice didn't waver. I'm just no longer letting you take credit for it. Reporter yelled. Mr. Hartwell, did you really threaten your wife to suppress the truth? Daniel's mask cracked. This is a witch hunt. That article is verified. Javier emerged from the wings, holding a USB. I've got audio of you admitting to the board that Lena designed your first prototype. Want to hear it? The room erupted. Cameras flashed. Daniel lunged, not at Javier, but at the USB. Security intercepted him, dragging him out as he screamed, You'll regret this. The aftermath backstage, Lena slumped onto a trunk, adrenaline still humming in her veins. Javier knelt before her, pressing a vintage sewing kit into her hands, the lid engraved with her initials. Found it at an antique shop, he said. It suited the woman who stitches broken things back together. But Lena traced the engraving, including herself. Javier's thumb brushed her cheek, smudging a stray tear, especially herself. Their lips met soft at first, then hungry. Years of unsaid words poured into a single touch. A throat cleared. Myra stood in the doorway, smirking. Not that this isn't adorable, but you've got 50 buyers waiting. Hartwell tech stock just crashed 30%. Lena stood, still gripping Javier's hand. Tell them I'm coming. Epilogue. 1 year later, the neon sign above Lena's flagship store buzzed to life. Heart and thread. Below it, a smaller plaque read, For those who build in silence, inside. Javier pinned a newspaper clipping to the wall. Daniel Hartwell settles lawsuit, steps down as CEO. Lena's designs draped mannequins, each tagged with a QR code linking to stories of overlooked partners. Sophie clinked her champagne flute. To the seamstress who unraveled a giant, Javier kissed Lena's temple. 2 new beginnings, Lena smiled. Watching the sunset paint the street gold? Some stitches. Once broken, could never be repaired the same way, and that was the beauty of it.